Where's a nerd when you need one? Oh, he's right here. And now, it's time for Computer Talk Radio with Benjamin Rockwell.
The website, computertalkradio.com, computertalkradio.com. The phone number, 888-NERD, 888. That's 888-6373-888. I'm a computer nerd. I'm also kind of a movie nerd. I'm gonna real quickly give a nice little plug for a movie that is out right now in the theaters, and it is called Greater, and it is all about Brandon Burlsworth, who basically he was a football player. And there's just an interesting story behind all of it. And you know what? I want you to check it out if you would. Again, Greater. Just greaterthemovie.com, I believe. Coming up later on this hour, we're going to have Keith M. Sedor. We're going to continue on the whole concept of podcasting, but a slightly different direction. And we're also going to have Dip Patel from EcoVent. And we're going to talk about, how you cool and heat your home, and that's going to be just a little bit of just sort of something to tie into the 40-year house. But first, let's dive into the news. And this week, we learned that Wikipedia co-founder Jimmy Wales had a slight problem. His Twitter account was hacked. This is continuing, and very interesting how many people are getting hacked these days. Big, huge, high-profile names. And what does that tell me? That tells me that these people are being targeted, distinctly targeted. So if you are listening and you are anywhere near famous, be aware you might be hacked next. For all I know, I might be the one who gets hacked next, but I'm not all that famous. I just have like, a few of you listening to me. Uber has some Uber losses. How much? $1.2 billion. And that's just in the first half of 2016. That's almost as much money as we gave to Iran before we even paid over the $400 million to rescue the hostages. An unbelievable amount. Just $1.2 billion. And this is going to continue. This is actually an ongoing thing with Uber, and they're trying to basically build their business. And, this is something that does happen. Amazon bled money for years, and now they're kind of on top of all of it. Just think about it. When you go to buy something online, I bet, odds are really good at least, that you and me and a lot of other people are going to Amazon. So that's kind of a thing we understand and know. The super rich are doing some very interesting things. There was an interesting article. I read the whole thing, and they're basically making their homes invisible. They're hiding their homes from Google's Street View, and they're basically hiding behind all kinds of different things. One of the things they're also doing, which didn't get into the article, didn't get into all that much, but they are also looking for different interesting things along the way as far as locking down their Wi-Fi and hiding all kinds of their digital signatures. Man, this is kind of expected, except when you start talking about things like the Wi-Fi and getting phones that are just under assumed names and stuff like that. We think of the concept of, only terrorists would want throwaway phones. But the reality is, so do famous people. They want phones that basically will allow them to maintain their anonymity. And that's something that I had not really thought about it until I started to really dig deeper into that article and the things that are going on, and just where's the world going. So yeah, as a matter of fact, this is all going to be a situation which we may start looking into ourselves. At the same time, we need to be careful about becoming consumed by technology, obsessed with technology. There's two competing articles that came out this last week. That one of them was actually an advertisement for basically a company that makes this pepper shaker that you press the button and it totally turns off the internet activity completely for the home. And what they did was they did have fun with this, though. This particular commercial shows parents in the home, and the kids are messing around with their iPads, and their entire room is changed around them. Well, not even the entire room. Instances where an 8-year-old brother gets up and in walks a 16-year-old brother, and paintings are changed and parents are changed, and some of the parents even, well, one of them was a short white guy and the replacement was a tall black guy. And then they turn off the internet and the kids look up and they realize they're in the Twilight Zone. So that's one approach. The other approach is that we found out that there are a number of youth out there that are avoiding social media. They're just not fascinated by it. They're rejecting it. Now, there are different reports coming out. 92% of American teenagers ages 13 to 17 go online daily. 24% say they're on their devices almost constantly. 71% using Facebook, half on Instagram, 41% are on Snapchat, and nearly 3/4 of them use more than one of these programs. But now there's also this growing culture, between 5 and 15%. I don't know if it's a growing culture. Maybe I say growing culture, but it's kind of this alternative culture of youth that decide we don't need Facebook. If I want to talk to my friends, I'll lift up the phone and I'll call them. I might text them. They will utilize some of that technology. They will have smartphones. They will deal with the regular tech that's around them. They just have no fascination with Facebook. At times, I wonder if I'm all that strange because, I have very little fascination with Facebook. I use it to check on a few different people who are friends and family, but a lot of the stuff I just like, I don't need to follow them. I don't need to follow them. Maybe I should change that. I don't know. Pokemon Go is, catching news constantly still. However, as we might have expected, the amount of people who are doing Pokemon Go is dropping off. It's dwindling. Well, no, it's not really dwindling. They've lost actually somewhere around 20% of their user base. However, that actually isn't all that bad when you consider that sometimes what happens is a lot of people will jump into anything and then they duck out and away from it. When we talk about how many people are actively using this program, actively utilizing Pokemon Go, there are more people utilizing Pokemon Go on a weekly basis than Twitter. Yeah, you heard me. Twitter. Amazing. It boggles the mind. There is an ad that's come out. I believe it is. I believe it's a Samsung Galaxy ad. I'm not quite sure. That basically, here we go. Basically, they are competing against the iPhone as far as speed. And the reality is, it doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, a lot of technology is moving in that direction, and that's something we're going to explore in the coming months. I'm going to probably do an in-depth item in regards to exactly that, a matter of technology. Even though we have the power to grow, we're no longer clamoring as much for it as we used to. Dip Patel joins me next here on Computer Talk Radio, and he's with EcoVent. And EcoVent is going to, I predict, it's going to revolutionize not everybody's home, but a number of people who have the money and start thinking about this. It's a good concept, and I'm excited about it. I like it, and I'm a nerd, and that's there's nothing more to say about that. Dip Patel coming up next here on Computer Talk Radio.
Let me tell you about The Radio Factory, an exciting new venue for talk radio. It's the internet, the wave of the present. My name is Benjamin Rockwell, and I'm the host of a syndicated radio program, Computer Talk Radio, so I know the internet is here and now. Many of the hosts at theradiofactory.com have their own podcasts or radio shows across the country, but many people like the comfort of listening to their own special radio show at a specific time and day, much like we watch live television. The internet, as you're probably aware, is a powerful tool that allows the Radio Factory to deliver unique programming with far more variety than the windbags who are simply about contriving up viewpoints to get you riled up. Additionally, you'll find that many of the programs are shorter, giving more information in less time. Stick with theradiofactory.com and see how it evolves to keep you entertained, interested, informed, and above all, intelligent. After all, the Radio Factory motto is building your intelligence one talk show at a time. theradiofactory.com.
The website, computertalkradio.com, computertalkradio.com. That is where you can contact us. Of course, we've got a number of different ways to contact us, but it's all there. If you just go onto the website, we also have a number of notes from various things along the way. I decided I wanted to bring on Dip Patel. We actually had him on back when I was at the Consumer Electronics Show, CES. That's the official name, CES, but a lot of people understand it. It's a consumer electronics show. But I came across this this very interesting product that was basically invented by Dip and a couple of his friends called EcoVent. Dip, this is, for starters, this is one of those things that I want to link this into the 40-year house. We have a regular segment that airs in the second hour that is the 40-year house. It's an autonomous house, and I know that that Marty Winston's looking a lot into how this might play into things. Give people an idea of what EcoVent is, if you would, please.
Absolutely. EcoVent is a system of wireless air vents. So you know, like the air vents in your house that allow the air to come into the room. It is a wireless air vents that are battery operated, along with sensors that you plug into the wall that essentially give you room-by-room temperature control. So in any home that has central air, heating and cooling, so maybe one or two thermostats in the house, you plug our stuff in, it's completely plug and play, and you essentially get room-by-room temperature control in the palm of your hand. And what happens is, if you're hot in the bedroom and you turn on the AC, the air vents will adjust to get as much of the air into the bedroom that's safe and comfortable, and then it'll shut the AC down. So not only do you get the comfort from room-by-room control, but you get quite a bit of energy savings as well.
Now, when we're talking about this, we can really set different temperatures for different rooms doing this, correct?
Absolutely. So you could have the bedroom at a nice cool 70, and then maybe have the nursery at 74.
Okay.
Keep the baby warm.
Now I trust that this can vary throughout the day. For instance, like nobody goes into this particular room at all except for in the evening. So we've got our own temperature guidelines for that particular room and each of the rest of them.
Exactly. Imagine if you only had one light switch for all of the lights in your house. That would be wasteful. right? When you turn on the lights, if every light came on.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what happens with your heating and cooling. You know, when you turn on the cooling, it cools all of the rooms. So what EcoVent does is only cools the rooms that you ask for, and you can certainly shut rooms down, set them as vacant, set them warmer, set some rooms cooler, and you're able to really get the house as comfortable as you want. And EcoVent makes sure it happens in a very safe manner, but also in a way that saves you quite a bit of energy as well.
Now, I am just thinking about my home. I live in a condo, and depending on different things. So I've got one temperature right now next to the thermostat. That happens to be it's traditionally the coldest room in the house. So if I set the thermostat downstairs in the living room if I set that for 74, it will be somewhere like low 80s upstairs, just the next floor up in our master bedroom.
Exactly, and that's the problem, right? Because the thermostat doesn't know what the conditions are in your bedroom, and even if it knew, it wouldn't know how to get more air up there and less downstairs. You know, as we all know, heat rises. You know, and when heat goes up, it gets trapped up there. And what EcoVent does is adjust for all of that. It can detect all of that, and it continuously monitors the temperatures and the humidity of each room, and it continuously adjusts those vents to make sure the room is perfectly comfortable.
Now, I have a demo unit that came in here. You were kind enough to send that, and it's really very interesting. People might think, okay, so we've got this vent, and it's opening and closing, so we've got this loud motor. You know, I was thinking of actually playing the sound of it on air. However, I couldn't get the microphones in close enough to really effectively pick up any really discernible sound that isn't going to sound almost like silence. It's amazingly silent.
Oh, thank you. We put a lot of time and energy into making sure that the vents are silent when you buy them and get them, but also they continue to stay that way. And, you know, we put a lot of thought into the materials we chose. We also put a lot of thought into the type of motor and the way the vents open and close. And also, even the way the air flows through that vent has been optimized in a way to make sure that vent is very, very silent.
Yeah, that was actually kind of where I was going to go next. Now, should people think, okay, you're just some entrepreneur that came up with some crazy idea, which it's not so crazy. I should note that you're an MIT graduate.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to go to that school, you know, and they say once you go, you're part of the family there. And I totally understand. It's an amazing place.
Yeah, and of course you've got some additional background history as well. Tell us where you've worked.
Yeah, before I went to MIT, I was at Lockheed Martin, it's a defense company, and that's really where the idea came from, in the sense that I was working there when I came up with the idea, and at the same time I was working on radar systems and looking at sensors and temperatures and pressures and trying to understand what was going on. So it was very similar in that regard. And then Nick, who's one of the co-founders of the company, also worked with me there. He's an airflow and mechanical and aerospace expert.
So this is
we worked out well together.
This is so we can actually say that that you're bringing science, not only science, but it's sort of an aerospace approach towards serving our comfort needs.
Yeah, we joke. We used to work on rockets, right? So rocket science.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so interesting. We're bringing technology that in the military has been used for decades and perfected, and we're applying those kind of sensing technologies and that science into the home. And because of the advent of a lot of the technology, in the cell phone, that's made a lot of other technology, like the stuff that's in our devices, very, very cheap and accessible. And when you mix the stuff that's been made cheap by the cell phone with the science that we, kind of brought from Lockheed, you end up with a pretty magic system.
Yeah, so now we shouldn't say Lockheed too loudly. They might say, "Hey, you worked on that while you were with us." No, I'm only kidding. No, they're
pretty good. Yeah.
Are they looking to buy some from you?
Not yet, but I am. I keep in touch with them, of course, because there's obvious applications, right, in military buildings and also in hospitals. So there's a lot of interesting things we can do once you can control the airflow in a building.
Definitely. Now, one of the things that one of my personal concerns as I started to think about how would I apply this in my home, I started wandering around and I realized I've got vents in all kinds of different sizes. It's not like where I've various apartment complexes or places I've lived in the past has always been one vent size. Have you guys done anything to address that?
Absolutely. We actually make our vents in the 4 most common sizes now. And, we have the designs ready to make an additional 4 other sizes in the near future. And so the idea is, you're absolutely right. A lot of homes that aren't apartments and smaller complexes will have different vent sizes in the home. And so what we did was we tried to start with some of the most popular, and then we'll slowly introduce more sizes.
Very cool. So we're going to stop here for a break, but when we get back, there's other things I want to talk to you about because we actually already talked about some of these at CES, things like back pressure and also some of the technology in regards to how this all works. But that'll be, of course, in just a moment. This is Benjamin Rockwell. You're listening to Computer Talk Radio. That is Dip Patel on the line, and he is with EcoVent. I'm going to give you the website real quick, ecoventsystems.com. Again, this is Benjamin Rockwell. You're listening to Computer Talk Radio. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm constantly looking for the right place to get computer hardware. It's not easy, as there are so many stores that have gone out of business, so many shady characters online, or they're simply not capable of handling diverse needs. In 1979, 2 guys got together and built a computer company that could serve your nerdy needs. Micro Center. The wide range of products at Micro Center includes even the latest of Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and other hobbyist-level computers. They also have drones. They've got them in all price categories, from toys to, oh boy. Look, you're looking for console gaming, home automation. Micro Center's got that. Hardware, software, accessories, or, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. From Apple to Zyxel, Micro Center has what you're looking for. 25 stores across the nation, or you can check them out online at microcenter.com. That's microcenter.com. The phone number, 888-NERD, 888. That's 888-6373-888. Now, I am talking with Dip Patel. He is one of the founders of something called EcoVent, and this is part of the 40-year house project as well. And this is one of those concepts that I don't even know why people haven't come up with this in the past. Actually, Deb, am I wrong? Has anybody tried to do anything like this in the past other than I think I recall somebody somewhere in my past, they said they had like 2 different air conditioners for their home, one for like the north end of their home and the other one for the south end of their home or something like that.
Sure, and some homes might split by floor, top floor and bottom floor. But really, the reason something like this hasn't been able to be done well before is the sensors weren't there. The accurate sensors weren't there, and the science wasn't there to do it safely. What I mean by that is there have been companies that have made motorized air vents, and there have been companies that make some zoning systems. Zoning is what we were just saying. It splits your home into zones. However, the problem has always been if you close off too many vents, you don't really understand what's happening in the ducting there, you can actually damage your heating and cooling system. And, it's like blowing into a block straw. It can really hurt the AC or the heater. And
that's that back pressure thing, right?
That's right. Okay. And, traditional systems might use what they call a bypass damper. And, that's similar to a pressure cooker. When the pressure inside the pot gets hot, it kind of releases the pressure into the ceiling and just off the top there.
Sure.
These ducted systems do the same thing, and it's very inefficient. What EcoVent does is it has a technology called SafeSense, and we're measuring the temperature and pressure of the duct itself, so the airflow in the duct, but also the temperature, pressure, and humidity of the room. And when you have all of that information and you actually do the math to see the difference between the duct and the room, then you're able to actually open and close air vents without damaging the heating and cooling system. And so it's really a combination of having access to the sensors and the right science mixed with the fact that, battery life and microprocessors and motors and a lot of the stuff that used to be very expensive a couple of years ago is now very, very cheap. And that's why you can buy little drones, this little flying aircraft, for $20 on Amazon now.
Yeah.
Those same things used to cost thousands and thousands of dollars back when I was at Lockheed, and then 10 years before that, they used to cost millions of dollars. And so it's amazing how far technology's come, and what we've done is just taken it and applied it to making the home comfortable and efficient.
Very cool. So one of the things you mentioned a moment ago, humidity. How does this impact humidity back and forth? Can you control and do things like make the house more dry, more wet?
We don't control humidity yet, but what we can do is there's this concept in air conditioning called short cycling, and what that means is think of a car in a traffic jam versus a car in a highway.
Okay.
If you're going 10 miles, if you're in a traffic jam, you're putting a lot of damage on the car because you're starting and stopping. That's usually how most ACs work. And the reason that's a problem is if you start an air conditioner and run it for 10 minutes and then turn it off, it doesn't have enough time to take the humidity out of the air, right? EcoVent, on the other hand, because it's monitoring everything, it actually turns on the air conditioner and off the air conditioner for much longer periods of time. And so, again, it's the same amount of distance, meaning you're still going maybe 4 miles of total kind of length, but EcoVent is like highway miles. And as a result, that air conditioner can remove quite a bit of humidity. And what we've learned is not only does it save and actually extend the life of your system, it actually, in addition to that, makes the home more comfortable because as you lower the humidity, 72 degrees with 40% humidity feels a lot better than 70 degrees with 80% humidity.
Okay.
And so we can actually monitor all of that. And not only do we monitor it, but we share that information with the people that have EcoVent. You can see it. You can finally see what the humidity is like in all of Europe.
So now I know that there's a thermostat sensor concept in each of the rooms, but what about the main thermostat for the home?
Great question. So what we do right now is we work with the Emerson Sensi thermostat. It's a thermostat made by a company called Emerson, and you basically just, our system can communicate with that thermostat using the internet. We are constantly working on integrating new thermostats, so as you have a thermostat that connects to the internet, eventually EcoVent will be able to control it. And what that'll mean is when you open your app and set the bedroom a little bit cooler, if the thermostat's downstairs in the living room, EcoVent will calculate what needs to happen, and it'll just say to the thermostat, hey, thermostat, turn on the air conditioner. The bedroom needs some AC, and it'll turn on. And so that's really how it works. We use existing thermostats to turn on and off the heating and cooling system, but EcoVent determines when to turn it on and off.
Okay, so what about the control for the individual rooms? Is that I seem to recall there's an iPhone app for this. Have you guys got an Android app going yet?
That's right. We have iPhone and Android apps.
Okay.
Yep.
What about Windows?
And, they're beautiful, I might say. Not Windows yet, but one of the things we will be working on is a web app that can be loaded on any mobile device or any laptop or any computer. But unfortunately, no Windows yet. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, but that web app concept is really good too because that really enables you to future-proof? I don't know if that's the right term there, but a matter of if it connects to the internet, then it can control your home.
Exactly. And typically the problem is when you have a web app, it's not as fluid an experience for the homeowner. It's when you have a native application or an app that's designed for that platform, you can use a lot more features and it's a lot smoother.
Yeah.
And so, so that's the trade-off, right? It works on every phone. It's like a crescent wrench, it gets the job done, but it's not as perfect as having a perfect socket that fits perfectly or something like that.
Definitely. Dip, thank you very much for filling us in on this. This is an exciting thing for me. This was, I think, it was my favorite item from the Consumer Electronics Show CES this year.
Thank you, man.
We had such a blast talking about this. Do me a favor, give out the website where people can find out more information in regards to this, where they can find the contractors and stuff like that.
Sure, it's www.ecoventsystems.com.
So contractors and distributors. This is something that's going to be coming from your AC guy. This is not something you're going to find in your local Home Depot. I'll be back in just a moment with Keith M. Sedor here on Computer Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Benjamin Rockwell. Most of us use digital cameras nowadays, but what do we do with those old pictures and slides in the back of the closet? Well, let me tell you about Legacy Digital Productions. They specialize in taking your old memories on film, videotape, and slides and digitizing them to DVDs. If you have boxes of old slides, then you know they fade more and more each year. Let Legacy Digital scan them for you and stop the aging process dead in its tracks. You'll get beautiful 10-megapixel digital files, color-corrected and ready for printing. All this is done faster and cheaper than buying a film scanner and doing it yourself. Your files are then burned onto gold archival DVD discs where they will last for generations. Call right now, mention my name, Benjamin Rockwell, and receive a 30% discount on your order. Call toll-free 1-866-2-LEGACY. That's 1-866-2-LEGACY. And tell them Benjamin sent you. Your memories are priceless, so call 866-2-LEGACY now.
Keith M. Sedor is a Mac. Benjamin Rockwell is a PC. I think a fanboy fight is about to start.
The website, computertalkradio.com, computertalkradio.com. Keith M. Sedor is joining me now. This is one of those things where we see each other via Skype, and he mocks me every week when I do this. Sometimes
it's me. He tasks me, and I shall have him. Sorry, I was in Wrath of Khan mode there.
Yes, you were in Wrath of Khan mode. Oh, man.
How are you this week, Benjamin?
I am doing quite well. A little bit physically exhausted. I did Legoland this past week in the middle of the week, and that was grueling.
We did the Starfleet Academy experience at the USS Intrepid Museum in New York City this weekend.
That
was actually more for Daddy than it was for Quinn, although Quinn did have a blast.
Very cool. Hey, we should really get back right on to topic quickly, though. Last week, we talked about podcasts. We talked about the whole idea of what a podcast was. But one of the things that I thought we might cover that we really didn't have a chance to touch on was the concept of people starting their own podcasts. And this is a topic that people ask me every once in a while. Hey, how do I start a podcast? What are the things that I need to have and stuff like that? Keith, our radio show is available as a podcast. I have looked at all kinds of different things along the way. What is your guidance, however, before I dive into some of my tips? What's your guidance for people who want to start a podcast?
Well, first and foremost, for the Mac user, since this is the My Mac Guru Apple and Mac segment of Computer Talk Radio, and I'm giving you my guidance on what a Mac user would do.
Yes.
Most of the software tools that a Mac user is going to need are already built into the Mac. GarageBand is a wonderful tool for recording and editing. Now, that having been said, the built-in microphone in any Mac, whether it's a desktop iMac or a MacBook Pro, really is not up to the task of a weekly podcast.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
I'd give it probably about a 5.
Oh, yeah, that's being generous.
Well, do you remember last year I was down in Georgia at my sister-in-law's house on vacation?
Yes.
And I didn't have my microphone with me. I just had MacBook.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think, why does it sound like I'm in a cardboard box in a tunnel when I'm editing? So one of the keys.
That's actually being kind of generous, but let's moving on. So I mean, give people an idea. I mean, I'm presuming what, a USB microphone?
Exactly. There are a number of good brands of microphone that you don't need to get terribly expensive. I mean, if you're willing to drop roughly about $100, give or take,
sure,
you can get a good microphone. I like microphones by a company called Blue. I'm using the Yeti microphone.
Yeah, we've had Hillary Money on from Blue Microphones. She is an absolutely wonderful interview.
We should get her back.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, she was my very first interview at CES.
Was she really?
Many years ago, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I see her every year. We always at least chat, if not talk about something that they've come up with most recently.
Well, that's good. So a microphone, a good quality microphone is essential because it has the settings to focus the sound of your voice. And if you're sharing a microphone with more than one person in the room, it also has settings to compensate for that as well.
Sure, yes.
Another thing that's really important is you want to make sure you are able to edit properly.
Yes. And that's something that does take quite a bit of work.
It does, actually. But it's not terribly difficult. I mean, if you have a moderate amount of computer skill, you will actually learn to see what certain sounds look like when you look at them as a visual waveform in a sound editing program.
Definitely.
When I edit this segment for Computer Talk Radio, I use a program on the Mac called Sound Studio, and that lets me get a 7-minute segment edited probably within an hour.
Yeah. And now one of the things also to throw out there, you should also deal with headphones.
Yes.
Yes. You want a nice, clean sound, and helping that in every way possible is important. So headphones, a good environment to record in as well.
Yes, free from noise, free from distraction. There are a couple of podcasts that I listen to that are Mac-related podcasts. I won't name any names, but one of the guys has a cat, and the cat is sometimes in the room with him, and if he wants to get out of there, exactly. And I don't have any cats in the house presently, and I'm thinking, is my daughter crying? Because she's 9 months old, and the nearest thing in the house I have to that sound is a baby. So you do want a room free from noise, free from distraction, preferably free from any extraneous echoing. If you have any fans or the air conditioning turned on, you want to make sure that's lower. I mean, I remember one time when you and I first started recording, I had a bunch of apps open on my MacBook, and the fans came on. And the microphone was so close to the MacBook.
I remember that.
It sounded like I was in a wind tunnel.
Yes.
So paying attention to your sound and paying attention to your levels is really, really important. Another thing that's really important in basic podcasting is making sure you know what you're going to talk about in advance.
Yes.
So make some notes, just some bullet points, and then you can speak free form about your topic. And then once you do, you will sound like you're an expert that I'm sure you will be when you record your own podcast on cupcake baking or bird watching or NASCAR racing or whatever it is you have a passion for.
Next week, we will wrap up this series. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll have more beyond that, but we'll touch on even more about podcasting next week here on Computer Talk Radio. This is Benjamin Rockwell.
And I'm Keith M. Sedor.
I'll be back in just a moment. Years ago, I found a web hosting company that fit my needs as a computer nerd, as a radio show host, and just a normal person. Recently, though, it was clear to me that it was time to upgrade, but I had a choice between my old plan and the new one at 7 times the cost. It was that awkward point where I could choose between a sip of water or being dunked in a pool. I searched around, comparing the many options for someone like me. After searching around for 3 weeks, there it was, SiteGround. In proper fashion, I tested their customer service, their knowledge, and their willingness to do things the right way. The SiteGround salesman made sure that I didn't overbuy and get a 50-gallon bucket when a 32-ounce soda would do. These guys know WordPress, Joomla, and regular standard websites. These guys at SiteGround are awesome. SiteGround.com. Site, S-I-T-E, ground.com. One of the interesting things that happened in this past week, it might have been a little bit more than that, but I didn't really catch on to it. No, it was Tuesday, this past Tuesday. The Consumer Product Safety Commission joined in with notifying everybody of McDonald's recall of a wearable tracker. It's an energy kind of thing that's been given out in Happy Meals. What's the problem? They've had a number of different incidents, including blisters. It seems like what's happening is kids are getting burned by these rashes or something. We're not. I'm not fully aware of the details here, but this is kind of an amazing, scary thing for McDonald's to be going through. We think of McDonald's as a huge corporation, and that's because they are. And they have given out 29 million of these devices in the U.S. alone, 3.6 million in Canada. And there's all kinds of different reports about what's going on with these things. And they are scrambling to undo this damage. And I don't blame them. But I do wonder what was going through their mind. Oh, let's come up with this product and let's just go on out and we'll just provide it out there. And I mean, was there no testing? Didn't anybody just not remember the concept of these are going to kids? Well, at least in their defense, when you put these two together, it's roughly 30 million. And the amount of reports is 70. That means 1 in every 500,000 of these has been reported as having an incident. Now, that is kind of early yet. It's one of those things where maybe there are a number of people who didn't report anything. Maybe there's a number of people who said, yeah, my kid isn't interested, or the kid isn't interested. Maybe there's just issues where the kids put it on and they have a little bit of a rash. It's uncomfortable. They decide, I'm not going to wear it. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm not interested. It's one of those things of, you bang your head against the wall. You don't have to go to the doctor to know the fact that if you stop banging your head against the wall, your head's going to stop hurting. So maybe these kids, maybe there's a lot of kids out there that really caught on quick and said, yeah, I'm not interested. I don't know. There's a lot to getting these products ready, to providing something like this to an entire world of children. Well, even if it's not an entire world, maybe it's just a couple of countries worth of children. But even still, I wonder exactly how much testing, how much preparing and thought went into the folks at McDonald's before they did this. I mean, it's activity trackers. Activity trackers. We're kind of getting into that crazy thing where we're giving them activity trackers so that they'll be more energetic and more whatever as we're feeding them, fries and soda. Yeah. Who knows? This is Benjamin Rockwell. You're listening to Computer Talk Radio.
Let me tell you about The Radio Factory, an exciting new venue for talk radio. It's the internet, the wave of the present. My name is Benjamin Rockwell, and I'm the host of a syndicated radio program, Computer Talk Radio. So I know the internet is here and now. Many of the hosts at theradiofactory.com have their own podcasts or radio shows across the country, but many people like the comfort of listening to their own special radio show at a specific time and day, much like we watch live television. The internet, as you're probably aware, is a powerful tool that allows the Radio Factory to deliver unique programming with far more variety than the windbags who are simply about contriving up viewpoints to get you riled up. Additionally, you'll find that many of the programs are shorter, giving more information in less time. Stick with the radiofactory.com and see how it evolves to keep you entertained, interested, informed, and above all, intelligent. After all, the Radio Factory motto is building your intelligence one talk show at a time. TheRadioFactory.com.
Computer not working right? Benjamin Rockwell can make sense of it for you. Keeping your technology running smoothly, here's Benjamin Rockwell with Computer Talk Radio.
Your world, your information, your data is out there. Facebook has all kinds of information on you if you are a Facebook person. And they've got information on people who aren't really Facebook people as well. And that is something that I'm about ready to scare you with. Just how deep this rabbit hole goes. My name is Benjamin Rockwell, of course, and you're listening to Computer Talk Radio. The phone number, 888-NERD. 888, that's 888-6373. 888. The website, computertalkradio.com. Now, you know that Facebook, well, they know your age. They know your name. Well, they know your name at least. They might know your age if you've told them what your age is. And your relationship status. And yeah, there could be some things that you lied about along the way. But they are able to fill in all kinds of information. They are able to build up a model using all kinds of very high-end math figures to determine all kinds of things about you. For instance, there's a tennis player, Maria Sharapova. If you like that tennis player, Facebook is likely to think that you're a single man. If it knows that you're a man, however, and you like the group, the Facebook group for the musical Wicked, Facebook is going to question whether or not, well, yeah, they're going to question exactly, why do you like show tunes, if you get my drift. If you like the Facebook group for Morgan Freeman's voice, his voice, they believe, they figured it out, they believe that you've got a high IQ, and they can determine all kinds of different things. They can determine, based on likes and dislikes, your friends, and more, whether or not you're a smoker. They can figure out your race, your religion, your political affiliation, even whether your parents were together when you were growing up. What? Yeah. I'm going to read off a list. It is a scary list of all of the things that they know about you or they're trying to find out about you. All right. Your age. Okay. Your location. What generation you're part of. Remember, age and generation are not always the same thing. They're close, but they're not quite the same thing. I'm borderline. I could be a boomer or I could be Gen X, and it depends. So they can determine what languages you know, your education level, what field of study you had, what school you went to, your ethnic background. Okay, all right. Income and net worth. Wait a second here. They want to know how much I make, how much I'm worth. Yeah. The home ownership. If I own a home, I do. What type of home? How much is the value of the home? What's the size of the property? What's the square footage of that home? When was that home built? Who lives in my home? Wow. And that is just mind-blowing. If you really think about it, they want to know that information. I mean, some of that information, if they link into some of the other databases that are out there, that's actually, some of that's open to the public. You may not be aware of this, but many towns, cities, counties, states have all kinds of public information in regards to how much your home sold for and the square footage. And if they can tie you to that, well, they've got that information now. What about, I don't know, something interesting like you have an anniversary approaching in the next month. If you're living away from family or your hometown, well, yeah, actually, we tend to join groups sometimes that are about our hometowns. But that in itself starts telling them all kinds of details. What about if you're friends with someone who has an anniversary, is newly married, newly engaged, recently moved, or has an upcoming birthday? Why would they do that? Well, maybe they're going to pitch you on the idea of buying something for your friends. What about if you're in a long-distance relationship or a new relationship? Or maybe you've recently gotten engaged or married or moved houses recently. Yeah, there's that house thing coming back again at us. What about if you've got a new job? What about your birthday? Yeah, see, they may not know it, but they may start figuring it out because, yeah, people all of a sudden are saying happy birthday to you. Well, yeah, all of a sudden, Facebook has figured out your birthday. You may have already told them. You may be telling all kinds of people that it's your birthday. But now they've also started figuring out other things too. Parents. No. Who your parents are. Not if you're parents. Well, yes, they do actually want to figure that out. If you are parents, or if you're expecting a child. If you're mother. And they've divided this up into a number of different types. Think soccer moms or some other maternal tribe. What if you're likely to be conservative or liberal or libertarian or whatever? Or if you are even likely to engage in politics? Well, yes, we already know that they're trying to influence how you vote in some of the news that you're seeing. And, yeah, they are doing that. We've already talked about that earlier this year. What about we've kind of talked about that long-distance relationship, new relationship, but even just a matter of your relationship status, even if you're not posting about it, they're trying to find that out. They're trying to find out who you work for, what industry, what your job title is, what kind of office that you're working in. What? Yeah. This is all about marketing. This is all about taking this information and sharing it with all kinds of people for a price, of course. There are people that are interested in paying money to find out this information about you. What are your interests, your hobbies, and stuff like that? But whether or not you own a motorcycle or a car, if you're planning to buy a car, if you've bought auto parts or accessories for your car recently, or if you're likely to buy them. But let's move on even further. Forget about if you're a car owner. They want to know how old your car is, the style, the make, model, basically, of your car, the year it was, how much money you're going to spend on your next car, and where you're going to buy it from. Wow. This is an ongoing list of everything that Facebook wants to know or has already figured out about you. This is wild. How many employees work at the same place you work at? Maybe you own a small company. Or maybe you're in management. You're an executive. What about if you've donated to charity? Now, I'll tell you, this is probably no secret to you, but if we go online, we can track down what kind of computer you're running. We can track down whether you're on a Mac or a Windows system. We can tell what version of Windows or Mac OS, or if you're on an iPhone or an Android phone. They're tracking that. They're tracking how much you enjoy your iPhone, Why? Because they're going to give you ads, not for Android games or anything like that. They're going to give you ads for iPhone games or whatever else they think they can get you to buy. That's right. If you play games, browser games, or a gaming console, if you've created a Facebook event, now they're starting to track again who your friends are and stuff like that. And of course, you may be an administrator on a Facebook page, or you've recently uploaded photos to Facebook. You know, it's kind of an eerie thing. I uploaded a Facebook photo, and it automatically recognized my wife. It automatically said, "Oh, hey, that's Julie." Wonderful. But now they've got that connection right there. They already know that we both have the same last name, and they've pretty much deduced we're married if it weren't for the fact that we've already said that. But there's so much more. There's so much more. I want you to know that Facebook is following you on all of this. Just like you follow your friends, Facebook is following you. You're listening to Computer Talk Radio. I'll be back in a moment.
Let me tell you about the Radio Factory, an exciting new venue for talk radio. It's the internet, the wave of the present. My name is Benjamin Rockwell, and I'm the host of a syndicated radio program, Computer Talk Radio. So I know the internet is here and now. Many of the hosts at theradiofactory.com have their own podcasts or radio shows across the country, but many people like the comfort of listening to their own special radio show at a specific time and day, much like we watch live television. The internet, as you're probably aware, is a powerful tool that allows the Radio Factory to deliver unique programming with far more variety than the windbags who are simply about contriving up viewpoints to get you riled up. Additionally, you'll find that many of the programs are shorter, giving more information in less time. Stick with theradiofactory.com and see how it evolves to keep you entertained, interested, informed, and above all, intelligent. After all, the Radio Factory motto is building your intelligence one talk show at a time. theradiofactory.com.
The website, computertalkradio.com, computertalkradio.com. I am Benjamin Rockwell. I am the host here, and I've been going through an entire list here of the things that Facebook either knows about you or they want to know about you. And I've gone through, and there's a number of different things. And what does it boil down to? Yeah, Facebook wants to market to you, but they also want to market you. They want to basically pitch different purchases to you, but they also want to pitch to the people who want to pitch to you. What do I mean? Well, think about it. There's a lot of information they want to know in regards to cars. If they can get a small chunk of the car services, yeah, great. Let's push the idea that Benjamin should buy a brand new car. His car's getting kind of old. He's bought a lot of stuff recently, and he lives in this area. He's got this much money in his house. He's ready for a car. He's absolutely ready. Let's start giving him car ads. And let's see what he likes and what he doesn't like, and we'll give him more and more of what he likes. Oh, he likes sedans. Great, let's push the sedan concept on him, and let's see if we can push on the idea of an expensive car. Well, he keeps avoiding the Lexus and the Infiniti, so maybe he's not into the expensive cars. Oh, wait, no, we just figured out he does like German cars. He liked that picture of a Mercedes. Let's send him a Mercedes ad. That's right. This is all about making money. So they know all kinds of information in regards to your computer. They know, yes, what your operating system is, what your internet browser is. They know what you do for email. They know if you're an early adopter of technology. They also know if you're a Luddite. They also know if you're running Windows 98 still. They also know if you're an expat and what country you left. Yeah, they know what bank you belong to. Or maybe it's not a bank. Maybe it's a credit union. They also know if you invest. They're trying to figure out a number of these different things. If you're an active credit card user, and how many credit lines do you have? Wait a second. What does Facebook need to know about my credit? Whether I have a debit card, how much my balance is on my credit card, or my credit card type, or any of that. Well, because they're marketing us. They're trying to figure out all kinds of things, and we're sharing this information. You know, that whole concept of, favorite TV shows over the years. Yeah, what TV shows do you like? Well, they're utilizing that exact same thing. And they'll find out if you like particular TV shows. Of course, you'll get various postings, even for TV shows that haven't been on the air in 10, 15, 20 years. Why? Because somebody owns that property. CBS, NBC, Fox, whoever, CBS, let's see, what did I miss? CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, UPN. Yeah, Paramount still has some, even though they're not around. I don't know who owns those properties for UPN, but you've got the idea there. They like tracking that. Why? Because then they can pitch similar shows to you. And those similar shows they're pitching to you, yes, that's another set of eyeballs watching. Yes, more ads. How are you connecting to the internet? Have you recently bought a smartphone or tablet? Do you access the internet through that tablet? What is the brand of your mobile device? What about coupons? Oh, yeah. If you are fascinated by Groupon, yeah, they'll start giving you more Groupon pushes there as well. What type of clothing do you buy in your household? When do you buy more goods? What kind of goods are you buying? And when I say what kind of goods are you buying, it goes all over the place. Let me just read off these. I'm going to try and do these in bulk here. Heavy buyer of beer, wine, or spirits. What kind of groceries do you buy? Well, do you buy beauty products? Do you buy medications? Do you do the household products buying? We're thinking the cleaners and stuff like that. What about products for kids, pets? What about the concept of if your household makes more purchases than the average household? What does that say about you? Yeah, it says you're more susceptible to the advertising, or at least you'll be more influenced by that. But they'll still cover more items for purchasing as well. Yes, the types of restaurants you're eating at, the types of stores you shop at. If you're interested in advertisements in regards to mortgages or cable television, your auto insurance. Wow. What sport are you interested in? Do you like the Olympics? Do you like football? Baseball? Perhaps you like something foreign. Perhaps you're interested in cricket. I don't know why they're tracking all of this stuff, but they are. Well, yeah, I guess I think I've spelled it out why. But some of this stuff just amazes me. You're commuting. I haven't figured out the commuting one. Whether or not you're commuting to work. If you travel frequently, well, maybe they'll get something out of that. If you're commuting, I guess maybe that'll determine how soon your car is going to break down or whatever. If you're likely to move soon, the type of vacation you enjoy. How long has it been since you've last taken a vacation? Maybe it's time they start showing you stuff for Hawaii. If you've used a travel app, do you own a timeshare? All of these different things start mounting up. And when we start looking at all of these, there's no one there to blame for this. I mean, yeah, Facebook is tracking us. But we are giving them all of this information. We're giving them the ammunition to take all of this and to bundle it, to utilize our different preferences against us. I will tell you that Facebook is far more than just a friendly little site where we're sharing information. It's far more than just a site where we can just find out information about our friends. There's this concept, which we've talked about on many occasions. If you don't know what the product is and it's provided to you for free, you may be that product. Not maybe. You are that product. I mean, think about it. How do they pay for millions upon millions? It's about 1 billion people. If I recall correctly, it's like 1.2 billion people are Facebooking. 1.2 billion people are Facebooking. That's a lot of people. If they can make just $1 a month off of each of those people, yeah, think about how quickly that racks up. How do they make their money? Yes, advertising. Sure, they've got to put some video up there. They've got to have some great ways to keep you coming back, and they do. They find all kinds of different ways to keep you attached to Facebook, to keep you coming back, to keep you informed on this, that, or the other thing. They are becoming a news service that doesn't feel like a news service. They're becoming a large entity. Oh, wait, they already are a huge, humongous entity that's basically surviving off of little bits and pieces of what we've given them. And they're making huge amounts of money off of us. And we're just letting it happen. Do we even care? I have no idea. Let me know what you think. Go to computertalkradio.com and let me know what you think the worst thing is about all of this. Just go to the contact tab. That's all you got to do. Contact tab at computertalkradio.com. Marty Winston joins me next here. I'm constantly looking for the right place to get the things that are on my nerd wish list. It's not easy. There are so many stores that have gone out of business. There are so many shady characters online, or so many of them are just simply not capable of handling my needs in a one-stop shop. In 1979, two guys got together and built the brick-and-mortar company that could serve your tech needs. Of course, today, they've got an online presence, and it's called Micro Center. They've got tablets, iPad, yes, but also Android and Windows and all the accessories, too. They've got laptops, desktops, all-in-ones, Windows or Apple, of course, all covered here. Motherboards and processors, and okay, all right, who are we kidding? It's really everything to build your own PC. Keyboards, mice, surge protectors, software, tools, and thumb drives. Enough. Look, from Apple to Zyxel, Micro Center has what you're looking for. 25 stores across the nation, or you can check them out online at microcenter.com. That's microcenter.com. The phone number, 888-NERD. 888. That's 888-6373-888. Of course, if you have any questions in regards to whatever it is, in regards to your computer, in regards to technology, I'm here to answer that for you. As a matter of fact, you want to ask me something in regards to the 40-year house, by all means, give me a holler. I'll pass it along to Marty. We'll probably air it, whatever it is, if it's interesting. And I have no idea if this one's going to be interesting. Marty, you know what? I'm just thinking you've got a cat and a dog. All right. I am dying to know what kind of things are technology involved in the 40-year house that have to do with your pets.
Well, one of the first things we decided to do, and this is remarkably low tech,
yes,
is to give them a room of their own.
Okay.
Think about every annoying thing that happens with an animal. Think about them trying to crawl in bed with you at night, or scratching at the door when you don't let them into the bedroom, or the things they can leave for you in the living room when you wake up in the morning.
Yes.
So we we isolated a room next to the laundry room, near the breezeway, out between the main house and the bonus room and garage.
Mm-hmm.
And that room is the pet room. And they have beds in there, and we can keep their toys and their food and everything else in there. And at night, the door closes, and that's where they stay. Now, we do have one bit of technology that helps that be effective.
Okay.
It is the Sure Flap, which is an amazing pet door that only unlocks when it uses RFID, when it senses the chip that's in the pet. So when you have your pets chipped and they come to this door, it will unlock for them. And for no other pet, and certainly I've seen some, Sure Flap is amazing. I've seen some really amazing footage of them trying to lure a raccoon through it.
Okay.
And raccoons can get through almost anything. I swear, a raccoon can pick a lock. But the raccoon had zero success with the Sure Flap.
All right. So this is and I imagine you just link up the RFID chip number, whatever it is that your pet's doing. Probably, I imagine it's probably
not even
simple.
the number. The device has a learning mode.
Yeah. Okay. So learning mode, you just put, come here, Fido. Okay, here.
Yeah.
We're gonna put your neck underneath the Sure Flap. Okay, great. It's learned you. Great. How fun.
And then our exterior designer, the Cold Creek Nurseries, for anyone who's in this part of South Carolina, is designing a run for them in the yard so they can leave the house through that door. And by the way, we can set curfew hours. But they can leave the house, enter the house, go back and forth all they want, and they're still in a protected run area of the yard. So they're not messing up the rest of the yard. They're not running loose. Although nothing really contains a cat except when he runs out of chipmunks to eat.
Okay, yeah.
So that is part of it. And because that pet door, and you know the size of a pet door,
yeah.
They can go in and out all day long, and they're not making any major impact on the loss of heat in the house. They're not impacting the insulation. Try letting one out the back door of a screened porch, and you're in and out of there so often, it's like you've built a space heater out there to nullify the air conditioner of the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So these are most of what we're doing about the pets, giving them a sequestered existence.
So
that they can come out and play with us when we want them to.
Sure, and I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm trying to think of the clean way to answer this.
No, we do not have robotic vacuums in the house, and the simple reason is none of them knows how to dodge a pet accident.
Okay, what about I haven't had a pet in years, so I remember we had this years ago. My wife and I, we had a cat. And we said, okay, we'll get a self-cleaning litter box. It wasn't. Has that technology improved at all in any way, shape, or form?
Oh, it absolutely has improved. Does that mean it's foolproof? I'll find you many fools who'll tell you no. My cat is the antidote for every self-cleaning litter box we've ever had. There's one that we're supposed to have gotten already that I have not seen yet. That uses a drum technique, so it's a little bit like removing the drum from a clothes dryer and running it at slow speed. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but the last one we got that looked like it was going to work had a continuously motorized conveyor belt kind of thing.
Yeah.
So anything that went into the litter got clawed up on its ramp and dropped into a bag in the back. Until it all stuck to the claws on the ramp.
Oh my, yeah, and you're trying to avoid that. That's the whole point of having this, so you don't have to worry about all of these problems. I trust that you probably are going to have additional ventilation within that dedicated pet room.
Well, I don't think we're going to see those accidents because they can get out. And I might also add, when a cat can get out, it will not do so much in the litter box.
No, I understand that. I meant just beyond that, a matter of Well, I don't know. I maybe it's just some pets are cleaner than others.
That's true. And dogs do like gaining a little perfume from the yard now and again. We do have a dog wash sink. It's not in that room. It's in the bonus room.
Okay.
And my wife is a huge fan of Febreze.
Nice. Yes, that's always a good thing to have too. It's one of those things. I'm not even sure what other questions I could ask. It's been wow. Okay, let's see. My son was probably about 7 when we last had a pet.
So it's 50 years ago then?
Well, no, not 50, but we're 15 plus, 15 plus. Not quite 20. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, my.
Alrighty, that's the voice of Marty Winston. He is, of course, the proprietor? I don't know, the owner.
Instigator?
The instigator of the 40-year house. The website, if you want to find out more information in regards to this, it's 40yearhouse.com. I'll be back with more and Steve Keske here on Computer Talk Radio in just a moment.
Hey guys, this is Benny Rockwell. Most of us use video cameras nowadays, but what about those old movie films in the back of your closet? Well, let me tell you about Legacy Digital Productions. They specialize in taking your old memories on film, videotape, and slides and digitizing them to DVDs. Imagine Grandpa's old 8mm and 16mm films that are just sitting in a box getting old and fading away. Legacy Digital will clean and recondition those films, capture them digitally frame by frame, and then produce beautiful DVDs of your precious memories on long-lasting, archive-quality discs. They don't use a projector, and your films can't be damaged in the process, the best available for families like yours. The final results are gorgeous. What better way to preserve those precious memories for future generations? Call right now, mention my name, Benny Rockwell, and receive a 30% discount on your order. Call toll-free 1-866-2-LEGACY. That's 1-866-2-LEGACY. 1-866-253-4229. And tell them Benny sent you. Your memories are priceless. So call 866-2-LEGACY now.
The website, computertalkradio.com, computertalkradio.com. Steve Keske joins me now, and real quick, before we dive into this topic, I'm going to give you the 3 laws of robotics. Rule 1, a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Rule 2, a robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where those orders would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. And why am I covering this? Because we are moving forward in a direction where we're going to have to be dealing with things of artificial intelligence. This is becoming a very distinct area of discussion amongst some of the nerds out there. And I brought on Steve Keske on this topic because we are breaching the realm of science fiction, those laws coming from Isaac Asimov in a series of stories which we refer to as I, Robot, specifically came from a 1942 short story called Runaround. But these have been around for a while now. But we're moving from that science fiction into science fact. And, Steve, I'm just looking at this, and we were in the middle of a discussion just before we started to come on air, and I said, we've got to talk about this. So let me have you go ahead and start moving forward with this. What were some of the things that we were covering?
Well, to me, it's the idea that I have been around so long that I've been here in the computer industry so many years that I've watched this develop over the years.
Sure, yeah.
Now, AI, or artificial intelligence, is the hot topic. But there have been 2 major discussions, shall we say, in the AI field. One is about AI. Could they ever become criminals? Now, criminals not in the necessary way of, bang, bang, shoot, shoot, and all this kind of stuff, but more in the white-collar type crime.
A matter of moving money around. Basically, the robot is being instructed to go through and make all kinds of money the best way it can. Well, at a certain point, and as we were discussing, let's define injury. That's in that first law. Injury, we have long thought of injury as a matter of doing physical harm.
And that's what Asimov originally intended it to mean.
Sure.
But we are going to have to broaden that injury to other areas besides just the physical arena.
Sure. Well, money is in some effect physical. We still think of it as the physicality of money, even though so much of it is electronic and
well, that's true. But I mean, physical. Yeah. I mean, if I steal your money, all right, I am doing harm to you, but I'm not physically bending your arm behind you and breaking.
Sure. Okay. But you could be making it so I won't have food on my plate. So
that's
maybe that's how we could interpret it. Who knows?
You could. All right. But the idea of AI, actually artificial intelligence now, going out and becoming a criminal is going beyond the actual programming.
Sure.
And that's where we get into how much information you got coming in and what does the AI do with it. And they're talking about, we're going to have oversight robots to make sure that they don't do these type of things and everything else. And I'm saying, no, what we've got to do is redefine our terminology here and say artificial intelligence up to a question mark point. And that point being, how far do we want it to be able to act on its own?
Distinctly, yes.
Distinctly. And the second thing is that we're talking about our bias as far as built in to your AI algorithms.
Sure.
Wait a minute here, people. You have to understand who's doing the programming. Human beings. We're writing the algorithms. Okay. We are biased.
Yes. And
the whole crux of the matter is artificial intelligence to mimic the human being. Well, if you're mimicking the human being, and the human beings all are biased in some way.
We all have biases, and as a matter of fact, we're going to have unintentional biases. We're going to when we're programming, just like before, when we have to define what is injury. You and I may define injury as being a financial thing. Some other people may not define that financial as being injurious.
That's right. And that's the other crux of the matter is we are all biased. Not only are we biased when we program the computer and put in the algorithms, but the data, the information out there. Look at the internet. It's been around now publicly for about 25 years.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, 25 years ago this past week. But yes. That's another story. Go on.
But that's another story. But the whole thing is the internet's biased. All the search engines are biased. And we all know that. So the information, even an artificial intelligent computer, is going to have all bias. So how does the AI understand what's biased and what's not biased is, again, that big question. How much do I want my AI to be human?
Oh, there's so much to this. We could spend hours, but unfortunately we're out of time for this week. This is Benjamin Rockwell. I'll be back in just a moment with my closing comments. Years ago, I found a web hosting company that fit my needs as a computer nerd, as a radio show host, and, well, a normal person. Recently, though, it became clear to me that it was time to upgrade. I had a choice between my old plan and the new one at 7 times the cost. It was that awkward point where I could choose between a sip of water or being dunked in a pool. I searched around, comparing the many options for someone like me. After looking for 3 weeks, there it was, SiteGround. In proper fashion, I tested their customer service, their knowledge, and their care, their willingness to do things the right way. The SiteGround salesman made sure that I didn't overbuy and get a 50-gallon bucket when all I needed was a 1-gallon bucket. The folks at SiteGround know WordPress, Joomla, and more. SiteGround.com. S-I-T-E ground.com for your web hosting needs. SiteGround. A New York Times columnist has said something kind of chilling. Google should fix this. It shouldn't give quarter to conspiracy theories. What were they talking about? Farhad Manjoo from New York Times, a tech columnist, a fellow nerd, is advocating that Google should take part in hiding anything in regards to Hillary Clinton's failing health. That just boggles my mind. That just, I don't even know how to treat this kind of idea that the people that are responsible for news should suppress anything just because, well, the reality is they want Hillary Clinton elected. I mean, look, I would not want any conservative organization suppressing anything in regards to Donald Trump either. I believe that we should be, we'll borrow Fox News's, their slogan, fair and balanced. I want to hear everything. I want to be able to make the decision on my own. I don't want to have somebody saying, well, even though somebody's saying this over here, we don't think you should hear about it. What? Look, the more we start suppressing things, the more we start going down these roads, the closer we become to the fabled Pravda. What is Pravda? Yeah, Pravda is truth. That's the straight Russian English translation is truth. And Pravda, the newspaper Pravda in Russia, was, throughout the communist regime of the USSR, was famous for, it's the truth they want us to know. It's propaganda. And even over there in the Soviet Union, they admitted, everybody knew that it was propaganda. It was always favorable to the Communist Party and to whatever the Communist Party wanted. Are we any better when we start saying, oh, we should hide this, oh, we should hide that? I will tell you that this entire concept, as far as a search engine, is only going to be useful to us, to you and to myself, no matter what your political spectrum leaning is, or whether you're libertarian or communist or Democrat or Republican, wherever you're at. The only way search engines really truly work for us is if we put in the question and we get back the unvarnished answer. No twisting, no turning. We need to be able to research these things on our own and determine for ourselves how we want to vote. I think that's the best way for all of us. But then again, maybe not the New York Times. This is Benjamin Rockwell. You're listening to Computer Talk Radio. We'll catch you next week.
Let me tell you about The Radio Factory, an exciting new venue for talk radio. It's the internet, the wave of the present. My name is Benjamin Rockwell, and I'm the host of a syndicated radio program, Computer Talk Radio. So I know the internet is here and now. Many of the hosts at theradiofactory.com have their own podcasts or radio shows across the country, but many people like the comfort of listening to their own special radio show at a specific time and day, much like we watch live television. The internet, as you're probably aware, is a powerful tool that allows the Radio Factory to deliver unique programming with far more variety than the windbags who are simply about contriving up viewpoints to get you riled up. Additionally, you'll find that many of the programs are shorter, giving more information in less time. Stick with theradiofactory.com and see how it evolves to keep you entertained, interested, informed, and above all, intelligent. After all, the Radio Factory motto is building your intelligence one talk show at a time.